The story of Macbeth. Ambition, power, and tragedy. For more than 4 centuries, William Shakespeare's tragedy Macbeth has shocked, fascinated, and inspired audiences around the world. It is a story filled with ambition, betrayal, fear, guilt, and the frightening cost of unchecked desire for power. Today, we will explore Shakespeare's Macbeth, its characters, its unforgettable plot, and the deep lessons it teaches about human nature. This is the story of Macbeth, a noble warrior who becomes a murderer, a king who becomes a tyrant, and a man whose ambition destroys everything he loves. Part 1. The World of Macbeth. Our story takes place in medieval Scotland, a land of battles, castles, kings, and warriors. Macbeth, the main character, is a brave general. He fights for King Duncan, earns glory in war, and is respected by everyone. But even the strongest heroes have weaknesses. Macbeth has one fatal weakness: ambition. And something or someone is about to awaken that ambition. Part 2. The Three Witches. One dark, stormy night, Macbeth and his friend Banquo travel across the battlefield. Lightning cracks, wind roars. Out of the mist appear 3 strange figures, the witches, also called the Weird Sisters. Their words will change Macbeth's life forever. They greet Macbeth with 3 prophecies. 1. All hail Macbeth, Thane of Glamis, his current title. 2. All hail Macbeth, Thane of Cawdor, a title he does not yet know he has earned. 3. All hail Macbeth that shalt be king hereafter, a future that shocks him. To Banquo they make another prophecy. He will not be king, but his children will become kings. Macbeth is confused. How can he become king? Banquo warns him, evil forces tell us truth to lead us into harm. But Macbeth cannot stop thinking about the prophecy. Part 3. The Spark of Ambition. Soon after, messengers arrive. Macbeth is indeed named Thane of Cawdor, just as the witches predicted. Now he begins to wonder, if the first 2 prophecies came true, could he really become king? Macbeth writes a letter to his wife, Lady Macbeth, telling her everything. Lady Macbeth reads the letter, and her mind begins to blaze with ambition. She believes Macbeth can be king, but she fears he is too full of the milk of human kindness to take what he wants. She decides they must act. Part 4. The Murder of King Duncan. King Duncan visits Macbeth's castle to thank him for his loyal service. But Lady Macbeth has a dark plan. She persuades Macbeth to murder Duncan in his sleep and blame the guards. At first, Macbeth refuses. He knows it is wrong. He knows Duncan is a good king. He struggles with fear, morality, and guilt. But Lady Macbeth challenges him. Are you a man? Do you want the crown or not? Under pressure, Macbeth finally agrees. That night, Macbeth enters Duncan's room. His hands shake. His heart races. He sees a hallucination, a dagger floating in the air, pointing toward Duncan's bedroom. Then he kills the king. Afterward, Macbeth is terrified. His hands are covered in blood. His mind is full of regret. But Lady Macbeth remains cold and calm. She takes the bloody daggers back to the guards and says, "A little water clears us of this deed. But water cannot wash away guilt." Part 5. The New King. The next morning, Duncan's murder is discovered. Everyone is shocked. Suspicion spreads. Duncan's sons, Malcolm and Denalban, flee for their safety. With the princes gone, Macbeth becomes king of Scotland, just as the witches prophesied. But from the moment he wears the crown, Macbeth feels insecure. He fears losing his power. He fears the prophecy about Banquo's children becoming kings. Ambition no longer drives him. Now fear does. Part 6. Banquo's Murder. Banquo knows about the witch's prophecy. Macbeth fears Banquo will produce a line of kings. So Macbeth hires murderers to kill Banquo and his son Flens. Banquo is killed on a lonely road. Flens escapes. That night, Macbeth hosts a banquet. He welcomes nobles. He tries to act like a good king. Suddenly, he sees the ghost of Banquo sitting in his chair. Only Macbeth sees it. He panics. He shouts. He He trembles. The nobles grow suspicious. Lady Macbeth tries to calm him, but Macbeth cannot escape his fear. The crown is on his head, but peace is nowhere in his heart. Part 7, The Second Prophecy. Desperate for answers, Macbeth returns to the witches. They give him 3 new prophecies. 1. Beware Macduff. 2. No man born of a woman shall harm Macbeth. 3. Macbeth will never be defeated until Burnham Forest moves toward his castle. Macbeth feels invincible. After all, every man is born of a woman, and a forest cannot walk. But the witches also show him a terrifying vision, a line of kings, all descended from Banquo. Macbeth realizes, no matter what he does, Banquo's prophecy will come true. His fear becomes uncontrollable. Part 8. Macduff and the Massacre. Macduff, a Scottish nobleman, has begun to suspect Macbeth. He leaves Scotland and travels to England to join Malcolm, Duncan's son. In anger, Macbeth orders the murder of Macduff's entire family. The scene is heartbreaking. Macduff's wife and children are killed violently. This act turns Macduff's suspicion into fury. He vows revenge. Part 9. The Fall of Lady Macbeth. Meanwhile, Lady Macbeth begins to unravel. Her guilt grows heavier each day. She sleepwalks through the castle, rubbing her hands, whispering, "Out, damned spot! Out, I say!" She imagines blood on her hands that cannot be washed away. Her mind breaks under the weight of sorrow and guilt. Eventually, she dies, likely by suicide. Her ambition once pushed Macbeth toward murder. Now the consequences destroy her completely. Part 10, The Final Battle. Malcolm and Macduff gather an army in England. They march toward Macbeth's castle, Dunsinane. To stay hidden, soldiers cut branches from Burnham Forest and carry them as camouflage. From a distance, it looks as if Burnham Forest is moving. The witch's prophecy is coming true. Inside the castle, Macbeth prepares for battle. He is tired, angry, and alone, but he still clings to the prophecy. No man born of a woman can harm Macbeth. Macbeth meets Macduff on the battlefield. He mocks him, "No one born of a woman can defeat me." But Macduff reveals the truth. He was not born naturally. He was delivered by cesarean section. Technically, he was not born of a woman in the usual way. Now Macbeth realizes the witches tricked him. His confidence shatters. In a final clash, Macduff kills Macbeth. Malcolm becomes the rightful king. Scotland is free from tyranny. Macbeth's ambition, fear, and guilt brought him to a tragic end. Part 11. Themes and Lessons. Macbeth is more than a story, it is a study of human nature. Its themes remain relevant even today. 1. Ambition. Ambition can lead to greatness or destruction. When ambition lacks morality, tragedy follows. 2. Power and corruption. Power can corrupt even the bravest hero. Macbeth becomes a tyrant because he cannot control his desire. 3. Fate versus free will. The witches predict Macbeth's future, but Macbeth chooses the path that destroys him. 4. Guilt and conscience. Guilt haunts both Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. It destroys their peace and sanity. 5. Appearance versus reality. Things are not what they appear. The witches speak in riddles. Friends become enemies. Prophecies mislead. These lessons make Macbeth a timeless masterpiece. Closing. This is the story of Macbeth, a warrior who could have been great, but whose ambition led him down a dark and deadly path. Shakespeare's tragedy reminds us that our choices shape our destiny. Not prophecies, not power, not fear. Thank you for joining this journey through one of Shakespeare's most powerful works. May the lessons of Macbeth stay with us, guiding us to ambition with wisdom, power with responsibility, and action with conscience.
Hi everyone, I am your white fairy friend. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share it with your friends.